So we had a little scheduling conflict with the original episode 48 guest. So that one's postponed. It is coming up with that specific guest, but you'll be seeing her when the time comes. But today we're going to do a little impromptu with Connor, one of our digital media specialists, and myself. And we're just going to be talking about some property marketing for the agents. So, Connor, what do you got?
So obviously we're going to go through all our services. Kind of don't know how we're going to set this up. If I'm now taking the host role from you.
You're not taking the host role.
Oh, no.
Saying what you got. I think a lot of agents, when they go to market a property, I think there is a very high percentage of them that are just looking to spend as little as possible. And one of the things that I always tell them is that even if you do more than is required to sell the property, you're not hurting yourself. You're investing in your own marketing. So that's a big deal. And but also I think a lot of agents don't know the pros and cons to, all the different tools they have available to them, and they kind of don't know how to approach it. They're just thinking just stills, and they really don't have a marketing plan for themselves behind any of it. So that's what we're going to get into. Connor, I know you prepped some questions, so let's start off and just kind of go through them, and we'll see where we get.
So we'll start from the top. We got, what does professional photography actually change about a listing?
What does it actually change about a listing? It provides perspective. So yeah, you want to show off the different areas of the house, but what you're really able to do is frame up the property in some really attractive perspectives, and really able to highlight, everything that the property has to offer. So for example, if you're shooting a kitchen, right, we got overall shots that, you're going to shoot overall shots for everything. But a lot of times in a kitchen, you might have, fancy chandelier, really, well-designed colors and backsplashes and all those type of things. So a good photographer is going to come in and really help put that stuff in people's faces in a way that's like, oh, that's really nice. For example, some of the things that we'll see is some of the nicer ranges and faucets and things like that. So where applicable, we'll go in and we'll get some close-ups of that thing. I'm a big fan of the rose gold. I know that's more of like a trendy thing, but it often looks really nice in photos.
Yeah, and something you didn't mention is just a professional photo as opposed to a non-professional photo is a whole hell of a lot easier to edit and make look good, because a non-professional photo is just taken with your phone, and you don't get the full effect that our cameras and our lenses and all that stuff and just our eye can see that an untrained realtor won't see.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, building off of that, I mean, personally, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've seen, there's probably not a property or a layout or anything that you're going to show me that I haven't seen over the years. And it's just like, what angles are really going to be able to show that off? So yeah, a skilled professional, experienced photographer is going to be a huge tool to help you sell those properties faster. And then I think under here, I mean, that's the other thing when you're mentioning the difference between having, an agent taking their own photos, which I cannot believe people still do today. It's crazy, but they do. And even the crappiest property still is going to look better when a professional takes the photos. But you need your money shot, your cover shot for your listing, and what you're going to take, what an agent is going to take themselves versus what a professionally edited, really nice photo is going to do for the opening shot on your listing is night and day. So when in doubt, hire a professional photographer. But, I mean, moving on, I mean, that's at minimum the bare minimum that you should be doing. So
And aside from money, do you think it's more like a ego thing for them, like saying like I don't need these guys, I can do this, or like obviously they're doing it to save money first and foremost, but
There is some of that, but I think for the most part, there's a lot of people that aren't looking for quality photos. They're looking for the cheapest photos, and that is, you get what you pay for.
yeah, and like you said, I don't get why they do that.
No.
Like you're gonna go to your next listing appointment and be like, look at my photos. But then every other agent that came in is like, look at my photos, and they're professionally done. Like,
Yeah.
you're already setting yourself up for failure.
The one thing that I always tell people about ours, so we do everything in-house. So we don't outsource to India or the Philippines or any of these other photo editing companies, but you can literally go to the majority of real estate photographers and all of their photos look the same. There's even some AI editing software out there now that it looks exactly like as if you did outsource it. Like that's the style that they've built the AI around, is that horrendous, like just blah look. And one of the things we're always looking for is to have that like really sharp. I always tell people our photos look accurate but polished. You're not going to have a buyer come in and say, this isn't the house that I saw in the photos. No, it's the house I saw in the photos, but we're going to pimp out the edit and make sure everything looks bright, sharp, crispy, and it's just going to be a very nice looking style of photography. And scroll stopping is what I would say.
So, I mean, that kind of is a good segue into another question is, why do two similar homes look completely different? If we went to this home, we do everything in-house, and then some other company went to that same home, why is ours going to have that edge?
Ours is going to have the edge because we're going to put a little more effort into it. I truly believe that even I can shoot a house fast, but even with that, I'm still bringing the experience and the the knowledge that comes along. Okay, this is how to attack this property. We're going to make it look better. No two homes are going to be the same. You're going to have two different sets of decor. You're going to have, lighting could be different, all those types of things. But we're going to bring it back down to, hey, how does this house look best? And that's what we're going to do for it.
I guess we'll go to drone stills now. What is the biggest factor in if an agent should order aerial stills, drone photography, that type of thing? Like when does it perform best?
Drone really started becoming a thing. It was very much hey, are you the agent who's really looking to grab that edge, as you said, go above and beyond, those type of things. But it's really not a negotiable. If I'm putting myself in a seller's shoes, like if my agent's not doing drone photography, it's like, why? Even there's still the mentality out there with a lot of agents that, hey, it's a townhouse. There's not land to show off. But one thing that they don't take into consideration is, okay, what is there to show off around there? At minimum, a townhome community is from the sky, very designed, like it just looks
symmetrical,
symmetrical, has all that type of stuff going on. So you're still going to show off that the neighborhood looks good at minimum. You're also going to get some cool angles of the house itself that you can't get from the ground. And sometimes, honestly, the way a lot of townhomes are laid out, a lot of times you can't get far enough back from the ground because the townhomes are taller to where you still kind of get that breakneck shot. And it's like, yeah, it's not ideal. We do take them when necessary, but like we try to minimize that looking up as much as possible. But you're able to get some better perspectives a lot of times with a drone shot. A drone shot can also be a huge help if the property sits up on a hill to like for the same purpose, like, hey, we're not looking up as much, but also it mitigates the fact. Now, it's not like you're hiding the hill once a buyer gets there, but at least you're able to get an angle that's more straight on and level with the house. So it's not flat out pointing out off the bat that property is on a big hill. Same thing if the backyard drops off. Yeah. And past that, past the neighborhood, past the house, a lot of times, like if you live in Westchester, for example, and you're in close proximity to downtown, it's nice to show that. If you're near a golf course, it's nice to show that. If you're near, any of those surrounding features and amenities that you can't show off. In Chester County, for example, if your house is anywhere near Marsh Creek, those are some pretty sweet shots most of the time. So those are things to take into consideration: what's around it, proximity, features and amenities, and then just the ability to give your photographer the tool he needs to maybe get some things that he or she could not accomplish from the ground. One last thing, it adds wow factor. So if you don't have the drones, they're just kind of like people expect them these days. Yeah. So, and it's not an astronomical increase in cost. There's a little bit more. I mean, we're paying for the expertise, the extra time, how to fly a drone, all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just adding some wow factor is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, especially for like a property on a big lot. You got to show off the space somehow, and ground shots moving throughout the whole 5 acres or whatever it is.
If it's a big lot, that's kind of a must at that point. And also one of the other shots that I always like to get is the straight looking down shot. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a floor plan of the property, which is nice. And also with talking about the floor plan of the lot, regardless of the angle, being able to outline that property in perspective of everything else. If you have 10 acres and it's a funky lot, you're not really able to portray that without a drone to say, hey, this is, what it is. And big amounts of acreage, I can shoot all the way back at the end of the lot and shoot back, but it's still not going to give you the idea of what you're really dealing with.
No, you're just like, oh, it's a big space, but what's mine?
All right, what else we got?
So we'll kind of just move on, keep going through the photography here. This one is something that, it's not something we do a ton of because it really just depends on the property. But Twilight photography, that's my favorite service that we offer. They always just come out so clean, looks so good, and I don't know if it really changes a ton, but it just gives a little bit more wow factor where people are like, wow, that looks good at all times of the day. And they might move on, but they're going to come back because it's in their head. So, what's the biggest benefit of doing a Twilight photography, and when would you recommend it?
I was always told when I had my license that, if you're working with a buyer, you should tell them to come back at different times of day to see if they still like the neighborhood at night for whatever reason that they may or may not like the house. But a lot of times a home is sitting in a really nice spot where they get great sunsets, or the home might have some really nice exterior lighting. There's just a glow that a house has when you start getting into the dusk twilight time of day. And then even past that, if it makes sense, I mean, you can shoot in blue hour a little bit past sunset and get some really nice stuff. But I think it's just you get a really nice twilight shot as your cover photo. It's a scroll stopper. Mm-hmm. And it's cool. It's probably, I do like them. It's probably one of the least necessary things that you do, but it's a very nice to have. A lot of times we'll end up doing the twilight shots because the sellers request them. So we know that the sellers like them a lot. Everybody likes to see their house looking cool, and that's one of the things that makes the house look really cool.
It doesn't just have to be for, the nicest house in the world, and sure, those ones look great, but that's partially just because the property's already great. So do you think it's something that maybe every realtor, regardless of their property, should at least consider?
I think you got to look at it from the property. The two factors that I would look at would be, does the property get a killer sunset from where it sits? Mm-hmm. If you're looking out the backyard and you got an awesome sunset, or if the sun's setting in the front of the house, when those colors start popping, even though you're facing away from them, they usually cast a pretty cool light on the house. That could be really neat. And then also if it has a great pool/backyard living space, or some really nice walkway lighting and uplighting in the front, those are really the factors you got to look at. Does it have those features? When it does have those features, then it's kind of I almost look at it it's worth it, and it's a must. Aside from that, you'd be doing it just to add wow factor, like something that's just going to be an eye-catching photo.
So all you realtors, at least consider it.
You have down here what's, the difference between the real versus the virtual Twilights. I don't want to say I don't like them, because people do like them, the virtual Twilights. Yeah. But they're just not real. Mm-hmm. They're just not, the lighting's fake. Sometimes that uplighting we were talking about is added, but it's not really there. And it's fine. Everybody knows it's fake. It is a cool, an attention getter. But if you are really trying to market the property for what it actually is, the real deal Twilights are the way to go. And, there is a cost difference, but, that's a judgment call you're going to have to make is, do you want that extra time and attention to your listing to make sure that you're capturing reality, or do you just want something to say, hey, I did, Twilights for my listing to keep the seller happy, mm-hmm. or if that's just something that you do. But you can go on and find, 5 different houses that have the virtual Twilights. They all look the same.
Yeah. But if you looked at our page, you probably wouldn't be able to tell which of those Twilights that we've posted are real and which ones are artificial.
There's one on there that came out and it's very virtual, but definitely
it would be very hard for the average Joe.
Yeah. But even though that one came out cool. I like that one.
Not something that we can do, obviously, but I just thought of it. It would be really, really cool if there was one night where the northern lights are going crazy and we were able to capture something like that. And, we live in Pennsylvania, hardly ever get to see that, but that just is a cool idea in my head. We could artificially do it.
We're charging extra if we're going out for the northern lights. So yeah, again, probably the least of necessity marketing, but it's definitely a cool to have, and just know the difference that, if you're really trying to show off the features that the home actually has in real life, like lighting for the pool and backyard area and or uplighting and whatnot in the front, that's something that you really you want to do the real deal stuff for. And also, just so you know, the process of coming in and doing the real Twilights is we're coming at a specific time. We're going to be there a little bit before the sun goes below the horizon, and we have a very short window after the sun goes below the horizon. But we got to make sure all the lights are on in the house, mm-hmm. Because it's you can have all the lights on in the house, but there's that very short window when the interior ambiance and the exterior kind of the light levels kind of match. And that's when that house gets that money glow that everybody's looking for. And that's why, it takes some know-how and doing it right to get that done. Mm-hmm. But when they come out great, they come out great.
And that's just purposeful marketing.
Yep.
Both on our part and theirs.
Which you should all be doing. Purposeful marketing.
We'll move on to video. That's every photo service we offer.
Yeah.
And then, this will go hand in hand because it's all the same concept, except for the video. We don't do Twilight video that I know of.
Yeah.
But, so what's the real value of videos in 2025 and 2026 coming up?
All right, the real value, so a virtual tour, by definition, a video and a 3D tour can both technically fall into that category, and they were used for a while that way. But Zillow kind of leads the way as to how marketing is done on the search sites. And they are very big on their 3D tour, the Zillow 3D Home Tour. So if you could use a non-branded video of the property as a virtual tour, technically, but it's going to show up very not prominently as a link kind of hidden on the page. Whereas if you did a 3D tour, you're going to be much more prominent and get everybody's attention with that. So I would say in today's market and moving forward, at least for the time being, your video is going to be more for social media purposes. And, so Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, those type of things. And because you're using them with that respect, it makes more sense for the agents to be in the video than it ever has. Mm-hmm. So, you don't have to be in it. It's highly recommended for any of our clients that order a video with us, them being in the video to introduce the property is included in all of them, so you're not paying extra for that. But it's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, especially for social media purposes, instead of just throwing up a video of a house, here it is. Nobody really cares about that. They're following you for you. So why not put yourself there?
Yeah,
just be afraid, or stop being afraid to take that leap.
There's no way out but through. So you're gonna have to get good at it. But I always tell people just loosen up. And like the days of having to like throw on this I'm a professional now like mode. It's gone. You can still be a professional, but have some fun with it. And that's where the videos are going to shine. So yeah, if you have a property, any of them, I think adding a video, even whether, at minimum, like a highlight reel of the property is kind of, if you're a serious agent, should be on your list of to-dos when you're selling a house.
And while we're on the social media video, I mean, we have some pretty exciting changes coming soon with how we're handling video and all that stuff. I don't know how much you want to talk about it, how much you want to give away. Jeez Louise. This guy.
So not like new as far as we've always been big on like presenting packages and stuff for different types of properties. Like we may have some client that likes a combination of services that we do, and then that combination of services becomes popular. We'll turn it into a package. So most of the packages on our page are born of demand, and what puts together a good package for selling a property. So we're going to have a lot more video options as far as like, hey, are you, do you want a nice, highlight reel for your listing to go with the photos? Do you want an all-out package, like where it's like super high-end video? Do you want something a little more basic? Are you just looking to cover your bases, or are you looking to really, blow the doors off this thing? So you're going to have a lot more options there, and just very much geared towards marketing the property well, but also helping the agents market themselves. Yeah. So we're going to be adding a lot more packages there. If you have any questions about it, obviously reach out.
And like we said earlier, I mean, it's just another thing for you to go in to your next listing appointment and be like, this is what I do.
100%. And yeah, maybe with the, like talking about the different, just with respect to the video packages, hey, we'll have something that's a little more still really nice, but a little more basic, or you can have something super fancy. But maybe you get a really nice listing and it's going to sell in 2 seconds. And maybe you don't need to spend the money to get the crazy stuff. But paying for top-notch stuff when you have a subject property that's actually going to really take advantage of that service, that's going to be a showcase for your portfolio that you're going to be able to go into listing appointments with and say, listen, your property's really nice. Is everybody going to do this for you? And then you can show them, be like, you show somebody something that they're going to be like, I want to see my house in those lights. This is the agent I want to hire. So investing in good marketing for your properties and yourself is going to pay dividends, because it's going to help you win listings and new business.
Yeah, and I mean, every realtor basically that I've ever talked to is like, I want to be like so-and-so, and they do this really high-end thing, but then they're not willing to do that same high-end thing and just want the results. So like you got to actually take that step and put yourself in that category instead of just saying it. You got to be about it,
Yeah, I think you need to realize, like, hey, are you looking to be serious about your marketing, or are you looking to just sell the house and move on? And it's like, there's always agents that are saying, oh, I'm in a lull, I'm slow. But if you look at the agents that are really like relentless about their marketing and really putting the effort in, they don't really slow down the way the agents that don't do the marketing do. So if you're looking to do it, it's like, yeah, you might spend some dollars up front and you're gonna do that. But on the back end, if you're consistent with it, it's gonna work, and you're gonna get better. Your marketing is gonna get better, and your business is gonna grow.
All it takes is one domino to fall.
That's it. Yeah. And it takes one, and then you're off to the races. But you gotta stick with it. You gotta be consistent. And the one thing, if you ask any of the top producing agents, the one thing that, all of them are going to tell you at minimum, I mean, I'm sure there's multiple things, but they're going to tell you they work their asses off. And that is a non-negotiable if you want your business to grow.
Yeah. And that's not saying like erase your work-life balance. It means when you're there, you're there. And you're not like, you know what I mean though? Like you're not on your phone during work hours just scrolling social media.
What is work-life balance?
Going to bed at a reasonable hour.
Yeah, that's for the birds. You got to work hard, play hard. But when I think you're only thinking about playing and you're not focusing on the work, I think it reflects in people's businesses. I mean, you can see if you look at people's businesses and you look at their habits and how they operate. I mean, it's apparent why the ones that are highly successful versus the ones that are, and you may not need. You may be, hey, I'm going to sell enough houses to make 6 figures, and then I'm going to basically take the rest of the year off. Hey, if that works for you, fine. But if you're looking to be one of those agents, which we get a lot of them coming in, like, hey, I want to be this and this and this, you're not putting in the work to do it. And like we love working with those agents that are hungry, they want to do all this stuff, and like, hey, bring it. Like we're the team you want to work with when you want to do that, but. It's really important that you put in the work. And just to like for us as a company, I think one of the things that really makes us different is my background, which is as a realtor.
And even Rick's with the computer programming, because that's another service that we'll touch on later, is the websites and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that goes into that. But I mean, Rick, who's my father and my partner, we've both been in the corporate world, and so we know how that operates. And there's a lot of benefits to how a big corporation operates. So we try to bring the best of that stuff mixed with the service of a smaller business, where we can really, treat our customers great.
Like their family.
It's like the Olive Garden, baby. When you're here, you're family. But my background as a realtor has the time that I spent selling houses really helped me understand what all the agents go through. So I always say, we speak the language. We understand the things that you're looking for, the things you deal with, and what's going to really help you excel in what you're doing in selling homes. So you don't get that from everybody, so I think that's a big plus when working with us. So, but that's enough on that for right now. So moving on, what do we got next?
If you want to touch on drone video, but I mean, that's pretty much hand in hand
with drone video is I'm on the fence about giving the option to include drone footage or not, because like if you're doing a video and you're taking the drone up to do drone stills, you might as well grab some video clips while you're up there anyway. It's like, it's kind of like a complete thing. Like, so I said, drone is not like, yeah, it's an option, but in my humble professional opinion, I don't think it should be an option anymore. Like you're selling a house, whip out the drone.
And I mean, that's what it is. When I'm editing the videos and I see, a drone video, it does tie everything together. It gives you more angles, more flexibility, but also like it gives you that full picture of like, this is my house. This is where I'm going to be living. This is what's close to me. This is, everything that I could ever ask a question about is answered from seeing the full picture. Yeah.
And like with the importance of video being something that you're going to use not just to market the property, but to market yourself. It's like you want to stop at like
why do one but not the other?
Do it right or don't do it kind of thing. What is this? When should agents choose video over stills?
Ignore that one. That one was dumb.
When should agents choose video over stills?
Never.
They shouldn't.
Sorry, we're done with video. Don't worry about video.
That little guy? Don't worry about that little guy.
No. We're going to talk about some floor plans. My specialty. I'm the Matterport man.
All right. What do you got on floor plans?
Do buyers actually use floor plans when deciding to see a home? Does it help them get that full picture? Is it a negotiable?
I was actually just looking this up. I got some stats for you, okay? So do buyers actually use floor plans when deciding to see a home? This is according to Zillow. And just not that it needs to be reiterated, Zillow is the number one place that buyers go to search for homes. 86% of buyers are more likely to view a home, meaning schedule a showing if listing includes a floor plan that they like. The third most important feature, buyers rank floor plans right behind professional photos and property disclosures, ahead of virtual tours and even videos. 1 in 10 buyers say they would never even arrange a viewing for a property if they hadn't seen a floor plan first. I don't know about that one, but I guess it's a stat. 10%, it's probably not inaccurate, but hey, I mean, if the photos look good and I'm looking to buy a house, I'm probably going to see it, but whatever. 52% more clicks. Adding a floor plan can increase a listing's click-through rate by over 50%. Here's some other stuff. Speed and efficiency. For a seller, time is money. These stats prove that floor plans help homes sell faster. 50% reduction in time on market. 30% faster decision making. 3D floor plans help buyers understand a spatial flow instantly, reducing the thinking time after a tour. Screening tool. Floor plans help disqualify buyers whose furniture won't fit or who need a specific layout, meaning the people who do show up for the tour are of much higher intent. Okay, and then now let's get into the competitive edge for you guys, the realtors. Low adoption equals high impact. Despite buyer demand, only 5 to 16% of listings currently include floor plans, including one immediately puts your listing in the top tier of the market. Right. Agent selection. 42% of sellers say that they would not hire an agent who doesn't offer floor plan as part of the marketing package. Wow. Visualization. 81% of buyers say floor plans are very useful in helping them visualize how they would live in the space. So those are a lot of stats. I think they seem pretty accurate to me. I mean, the more something is, so when I said drone used to be a nice to have, people did it here and there, but now it's been adopted so highly. Sellers want it. Agents use them all the time. It's now borderline the standard. In my opinion, it kind of is the standard. But the same thing with this. The more agents start doing it, the more floor plans are out there, the more it is no longer of like a nice to have. It's like, hey, this is expected by sellers and buyers like to see it. So what are you waiting for? If it's going to help you sell the home faster, it's going to give you an edge in listing appointments. And there's really not a downside to it. Plus, hiring us to do your floor plan when we're out there to do everything else, it's saving you a lot of time. I see agents out there with their little laser level and yada, yada, yada. But then you still have back-end work even after you've done all that. We're in there. We're doing it in a fraction of the time. It's going to be more accurate. We have floor plans that are accurate within 1% of error. So they're pretty damn accurate. So the other thing that we didn't talk about in here is that, okay, if you're selling a property that hasn't been sold in a while and you're just running back to public records and it says the square footage is 2,000 square feet, right? But you think it's bigger than that. Well, are you going to sell the property for the same price if it ends up being 2,700 square feet versus 2,000? No, you're going to sell it for a higher price. That benefits your client, the sellers, and it benefits your pocket in the commission department. So having accurate floor plans is a big help when selling a house in so many ways. So start using floor plans.
So why do you think this push happened? Is it because the younger people that are starting to buy houses and the way that the market turned with all the prices being so high, they're buying these, quote unquote starter homes and they want to visualize it and be like, all right, I can do this, this, and this to the house to make it feel more whole? Or is it just that just happened?
I think COVID was a big factor in the increase in floor plan activity because people were buying homes sight unseen. Mm-hmm. Like they because nobody wanted to be in contact with other people. They were, Matterport was big. The 3D tours were big. Floor plans give people a good idea what it is, so they're not having to go tour a bunch of homes. Like you still wanted to see it, but the more information, the better. And then this is along with anything. The more stuff that you give a buyer, the longer they're going to interact with your listing. The longer they interact with your listing, the more serious they are, the more likely they are to end up making an offer. And, adding, okay, I have nice photos. Oh, now I have Twilight photos. Oh, now I have drone photos. So I can see all this type of stuff. Oh, now I added floor plans. Oh, I have video. Oh, I have a 3D tour. All these things keep buyers on a listing on the internet longer, and longer is better, because I know when I'm interested in something, I'm trying to dive as deep as possible and find out as much as possible as I can about whatever I'm interested in. So, I mean, just look at your own habits, as a consumer yourself. I mean, and it's right there. You don't even need all these stats to tell you that it's a good thing.
Hand in hand with that, the Matterport camera as well as the Zillow camera, they both can do the floor plans, but they also do 3D tours.
Right.
So what is the benefit of doing that? Because I know, some people just order the floor plans. Some people will add in the full 3D tour. Is that just for Zillow purposes, or well, not with Matterport anymore?
Well, so with the 3D tours, Matterport's still a great product.
Yeah,
I think,
but Zillow just
the problem is Zillow doesn't like Matterport. Zillow doesn't play nice with Matterport, and they basically all but cut Matterport out of your ability to show it on Zillow.
Which that's not good as a whole for the real estate market, just so everybody knows.
No, but Zillow's product has gotten a lot better. So
yeah.
I think they've closed the gap a little bit with Matterport. The camera is still a higher res product when you're getting a Matterport, and some properties, you would choose that. But if you're looking to get the benefits of a 3D tour, the added exposure, the keeping people's attention longer, probably right now the Zillow 3D Home Tour is your best option. For any of you who haven't seen the Zillow 3D tours yet, you should check them out, because they have the base version that just comes and it's the tour, and it's great. It'll do the job. But then they have I'm sure most agents know what the showcase, the Zillow showcase is right now. You need the upgraded version of the Zillow tour to utilize that. And basically think of the directory in the mall. It says you're here, mm-hmm. and then you can do that. So you'll have like a floor plan on the side of the actual visuals that shows you where in the house that you are, incorporates the stills that you upload into that tour. And then you'll also get the 2D floor plans that you can upload with the photos as well. So mm-hmm. There's a lot of benefits to it. It's a good product. Just like a lot of agents. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of how Zillow operates a lot of the times, but this is a win for agents and for the sellers.
Yeah. I forget what the stat was that somebody told us a couple months ago when Zillow's showcase started getting rolled out. But, I mean, adding those couple things really boosts your listing on Zillow, makes it, X percent more likely to sell, and all those types of things. So, like, why not add it if you have the chance to do it?
Yeah.
Because it makes your life so much easier.
Yeah, and we're going to be adding a lot of, at minimum to do the Zillow showcase, you need the 3D tour and you need still pictures, mm-hmm. right? So we're going to be adding a bunch of new packages that cover those bases, and then some additional things like the videos and all the other stuff. So stay tuned for that.
You got to start thinking of names. So kind of a spin, a little bit away from realtors. Why do investors care so much about the 3D tours?
I think it's kind of similar to the floor plans. Investors have to look at a crap load of properties to find the ones that actually make sense for them. So I think the more information you give them, the more detailed and easy you make it for them to look at properties, the better it's going to end up being for them, and preserving their time and whatnot. So a lot of times investors are looking at dumpy properties, right? So if I have a dumpy property, okay, I saw the pictures. It's showing me that it's a dump, but but I want to see like the systems, or I want to see the flow of the house. Hey, can I turn this into a 3-bedroom? Can I, do this and that? Where's the layout for, how the space goes together? And I think it shows them that, and it lets them explore the property versus just showing me a few angles.
Yeah.
Because as real estate photographers, we can only show so much in photos, I'm going to show you the nicest stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's not like I'm trying to necessarily hide things, but you're not going to shoot, showing this angle to show you where that wall is doesn't necessarily equal a great photo. So we're there to take great photos. So you're not going to see everything, but adding a 3D tour to the photos will actually
just paint the whole picture.
Yeah. And again, if they're still interested in the property after seeing all of that stuff, they're more qualified and serious than they were if they're just going to check it out because they didn't have any additional information. All they had was photos. Mm-hmm. They may walk into that house because of the photos and may walk right back out as soon as they see that, hey, it's not what they're looking for.
All right. Social media.
Yeah.
What advice does every agent kind of need to hear about it? Social media, to me at least, is a non-negotiable now because so many people are doing it. And yes, it's oversaturated, but it's oversaturated for a reason. Because it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, I think if you're doing the automated generic graphic posts and you're paying money for it, you're throwing money down the toilet, that stuff doesn't do anything. It's nothing I can't get from another agent down the road. There's nothing that separates you from anybody. I think it's a way to let people get to know you as the realtor. Mm-hmm. And see what you're all about and show, demonstrating expertise if you're doing something educational or show your personality because two identical realtors on paper, I may like this person, I may not like this person. Let them decide if they like you. And the other thing is to kind of show people that you're doing stuff. Mm-hmm. If the amount of content that you have as a realtor, if you're active and working your butt off on a day-to-day basis, is endless. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to showings and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're not capturing it and putting it out there, then it's a lot of missed opportunities. So I think that's, at minimum, you just need to start pulling out your camera more.
100%. And it's also just, putting yourself in front of them constantly. Like, somebody might watch your video and just be like, all right, whatever, scroll on. But then you keep coming on their feed and they're like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Oh, this person likes the Eagles. I love the Eagles.
This person's a runner. This person likes the ballet. This person works out, all these things. So incorporating, your personal interests and things like that those are the things that create relatability with the audience. And those are the things that are going to get people to think of you when people you connect with will think of you if you're being consistent and showing them who you are out there, right?
And a lot of these realtors, like, they're not looking at you as just a transaction. Like, at least the good ones that I know, they treat it as a relationship business. And once the deal's done, doesn't mean they're done with you. They want to, keep...
They're never done with you.
No, but, they actually do care about you and your life. And if you find somebody before you even hire them that has similar interests, it makes it that much easier to keep that relationship going and not just feel like a transaction.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think a lot of realtors end up keeping very close relationships with past clients. Mm-hmm. And if you are able to, turning a current /past /existing, existing and current would be the same thing, clients into part of your social media audience, it's a very not invasive way of staying in touch with these people. Mm-hmm. And then also getting them to stay engaged. If they're engaged with you, even if they're not planning on buying or selling a house anytime soon, but they know somebody and you're keeping your past clients' attention, that's more likely to turn into a referral. Yeah. A lot of agents think like, hey, if I'm doing social media and they start investing in it and their phone is not ringing off the hook because of that, social media content, somebody's not hitting the phone or they're not messaging you directly, but you have no idea. The people that never hit like, maybe never follow you, they're following you, but maybe they don't hit the follow button and just, interacting with that way, you have no idea how valuable that is. And if you're not doing it, you're just falling behind at this point.
And that's also probably the biggest misconception about social media is that it's a, one-stop shop to fix all of your problems. It's like No, that's just one part of it to maintain touch points, maintain being in front of your audience, but you still got to do all your other normal stuff, and that's just supplementary to your success.
Yeah, it's supplementary, but like you were saying, kind of non-negotiable at this point. You know, it needs to be done. But here is the problem. They look at it, they don't build it into the business. Mm-hmm. They're looking at it as like, I'm having a tough morning. Okay, if I'm having a tough morning, but I have a settlement or I have to do something with one of my clients, I still have to do it.
Yeah.
Right? But if they're having a tough morning, I don't feel like recording today, just do it. Yeah. If you don't make it part of your business, it's not going to get done.
It has that energy. I mean, everybody knows not everybody's going to have a good day every day.
No, and sometimes it's like, sometimes your piece of content for the day can be telling a story of why you're having a rough day. I mean, you know, don't be one of those people crying on camera, but yeah, like, man, this just ruined my morning. I got up, I started my day. I went to the gym. I did all this stuff. And then I got this piece of news. Oh, like my buyer decided they're not going to buy. Well, you know, 3 months of work down the toilet, yada, yada. Okay. And then you're going to let it ruin your whole day. You can't do it. But if you don't take it seriously and you don't build it into the business, it will never become a piece of your business.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an amplifier and it's an attention getter, an attention keeper. And
it's just like a bio about you, more or less.
Yeah.
Without ever having to meet a person, people can make a pretty good first impression based on your social media.
Yeah, you can. I always tell people it's like you have to be yourself. And yeah, maybe there's embellishing or performance to it in some ways.
Yeah, but
it doesn't mean that it's not a representation of you.
Yeah, and it's not like you're going out on Broadway and about to be in a musical. Like, it's just you talking to your friends.
Yeah.
And that's the way that people need to think about it, is just talking with your friend, community, like any normal conversation. That's all social media is.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, the informative stuff is a little bit more uptight and whatever, but, like, there's a time and a place for everything, and it's not something that needs to be this super uptight, like, oh, I have to put on this face. It's just be yourself.
Yeah, it is be yourself. And that's why, like, when you hire, like, we work with people in you know, different ways. Like, hey, we can work with you, or we're just like managing your platforms. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay for us to record the content with you, all that type of stuff. But what we can do is help you be consistent, help you within the content stuff that you do record, adhere to best practices. And also it's a level of accountability. But I also say that kind of knowing that while we're there to be the accountability, we see people hit like the proverbial snooze button all the time. And it's like, if you don't allow it to happen, it's not going to happen. Like, you're going to have to, like, yeah, you can do all the stuff with your phone, and we'll coach you and we'll guide you and we'll be there to you know, hold your hand. But if you don't utilize it, it's not going to work. You need to be focused on your business and realize that this is a piece of your business that you need to take seriously.
Yeah. It's not like it's a little investment for a lot of people. Why would you not do it if you're going to spend this money? Because then you're wasting money. Agents.
But listen, if you're somebody who wants to be serious about your business and grow it and put in the effort, and you want to run a good ship so you can provide your clients with great service, help us help you grow the business. And that means reach out to us. We're going to work with you very closely. Mm-hmm. And if you take advantage of the process and you buy in and you utilize it and you practice and you do all of the stuff that you need to do, then it's going to work.
Sky's the limit. I mean, you know, all it takes is one good video to blow up, and all of a sudden your phone's ringing.
All right, with that, I have to get heading out, so we're going to cut this about there. Final thought is take your marketing seriously, invest in it, and you will see the benefits. You will probably work a lot harder, but I have never in all my years, regardless of what job I've held, worked my butt off and not seen the benefits at some point. You may not see it immediately, but if you stick with it, it's going to pay off. Make people positive.
All right. So, first ever dual positive message to the world. Starting with me, I'm going to say choose yourself. Choose to win every day, to keep going no matter how hard things get. There's always brighter days in the future. All the bad ones are just bad days in the past, but they're in the past. Stay present, work for your future, and good things will come your way eventually. Just stay the course.
I think that's a good message. I think mine is take accountability. I don't think there's enough of that. Like, if any kind of complaining, blaming something on somebody else, if any of that's coming out of your mouth, you need to shift your mindset. Because if you look at everything, I mean, I don't think there's anything that I can't intentionally say it's my fault. I missed that light driving somewhere. It's like, well, I could have made a different move somewhere else and maybe I wouldn't have missed that light. Or, hey, that didn't, whatever it is, if something didn't work out the way you wanted it to, you can always backtrack along the sequence of events that led there and find somewhere that you could have done something different that would have changed that outcome. So if you approach it from, it's your fault, you don't want to be pissed off at yourself for very long. So your mindset shifts. You're like, okay, what could I have done different? And if you approach it that way, you're going to be a lot happier. So accountability.
Reach out to us if you want to hop on the podcast. We're always looking for more guests.
Yeah, guys, if you're looking to be a guest on Inside Real Estate, we'd love to have you. This is a podcast where we're looking to bring on agents who are finding success in this market, because there's always agents looking for success in this market. So if you're one of the agents who's finding success, even if it's one small area, but you're doing it well, we want to hear from you. We want to highlight you, see what you're doing well, get your perspective on different things, and also be able to share that with other agents, and then also provide, some valuable information and perspectives on, for buyers and sellers as well. So we're always trying to pick our guest brain and see what they're doing well and see how we can provide that information to somebody who maybe is having a hard time. So conversations are always good. They're always fun. And if you're available, 2026 is going to be a great year for the podcast, and we're looking forward to talking to all of you.